So I've been getting a lot of questions from my students on how to actually like improve like average order value and things like that with their Shopify store. So I thought about, hey, why not talk about it with you guys? So average order value, it's probably one of my favorite ways to also improve ROAS, right? If you're getting a $25 cost per acquisition right now with a $50 AOV, that's gonna be about a 2x ROAS. But if you improve that AOV to about $75, well, guess what? Now all of a sudden you have a 3x ROAS if you maintain that same CPA. So there's quite a few different ways to improve AOV. So I'm just gonna kind of list a few of them off, a few common ones that we actually leverage for our clients. And one of them being just easiest thing you could possibly do right now is just price testing, right? So what you can do for price testing is you can just go, you can change the price of your product and then see how the performance goes for like the next 72 hours, right? So maybe you're charging like $50 for your product now. Maybe you bump it up to 60, like $59.95, for example. And what you want to do is just see, hey, how's performance go for the next few days? I've seen cases where charging more actually improved performance because people kind of felt like, hey, it was too good to be true. What do I mean by that? It's like, if you go to like Louis Vuitton, you're expecting to pay like $500, $1,000 for a t-shirt, right? But all of a sudden, if Louis Vuitton's like, hey, you can have this shirt for $50, you're like, the fuck? No. Like, I mentally came prepared to spend this amount of money. I want to spend the money. And you offering such a low price, it makes me like think like, hey, this is not really that good, or maybe it's not, an authentic one, right? So I actually will test higher prices and lower prices as well. I always try to test 2 or 3 prices above what you're currently testing or like using, and then 2 or 3 prices down as well. Because sometimes you're actually charging too much. And if you lower the price a little bit, you'll actually see a higher conversion rate and you'll see more volume coming into the business, right? So I've seen cases where having 2 or 3 price tests above and 2 or 3 price tests below. I've seen mixture of cases where like higher prices convert it better and also lower prices convert it better. Now, obviously that won't increase the AOV with a lower price, but it might drop your CPA. It might allow you to spend significantly more and it might actually have a higher conversion rate. So you actually will be more profitable with a lower price. And again, I've seen cases where both work. So ultimately you have to test it. Now, I always like to recommend 72 hours, right? Because the first day, probably performance won't be great. The second day, performance will be a little bit better. And the third day will really kind of give you that, okay, it had like 2 days to optimize. What's that third full day look like? So after 72 full hours, then you can go and you edit the price if performance tanked or if performance did amazing, then you can let it go. Now, key thing here is if it fucks up and it does worse, just change the price back. Don't overthink it. I've seen so many people just overthink it. Like, what happens if it doesn't work? It's like, well, cool. Then just change the price back. You'll be fine. So just change the price back. You'll be good. Price testing, one of my favorite things to do. Now, after you do price testing, the next thing you can look at is frequently bought together, right? So, especially the two, like I go buy an iPhone, for example, like you kind of expect them to buy like the charger, the cord, the AirPods, screen protector, and a case. Like you're expecting to buy those things, right? They're all kind of frequently bought together, right? So just adding a couple different things as well, right below the add to cart that they can all add all 3 to cart. If you look at Amazon, Amazon's been notorious of this for a very long period of time, right? Where, you look on their product page, maybe you're going to buy like some pre-workout, for example, and you'll just like scroll down and be like commonly added all 3 to cart, and it'll be like, like some protein, a shaker cup, and maybe like some creatine as well to go with your pre-workout, right? And it'll be a slightly lower price, like it'll give like 5 to 10% off on all 3 of those things if you purchase them together versus purchasing them individually. So frequently bought together, another amazing little tool. Shopify has a plugin, I want to say, that's just literally called like frequently bought together that you can leverage as well. So definitely recommend checking that one out. Next thing, after you do frequently bought together, you have your upsell, right? Upsell, you can be very, what I would say, low IQ play and just simply do more quantity, just depending on what you're selling, right? I don't think like more quantity always works the case. Like for example, I just bought a brand new MacBook. This is not currently it, but it's, it's my other workstation. And like if they said, hey, do you want to add another MacBook? It's like, no, right? So it just depends on what you're selling. Sometimes more quantity works. It just depends on what you're purchasing, right? That's the biggest thing. I'm trying to think of some examples. Maybe if I would like buy like some energy drinks, for example, I'll buy a case of Celsius and they're like, hey, you can add a second case for 25% off if you add the second case to your cart right now. I'm like, hey, that's a great example, right? I just went to a cigar lounge before this and, they were like, hey, you just bought this nice Perdone. I think I said that completely wrong, but Davidoff anniversary number 3, typically what I like. It's like, hey, you want a second one for like 10% off, right? If you order it right now. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. So it just depends on what you're selling. And depending on is, will people go through that, right? If you're selling them something that they're going to use, or not necessarily use, but have to rebuy again like every couple of years, no point of it. Depending on the type of shirt, right? Like your essential basic t-shirts where like you could wear like 3 black shirts in a week. That makes sense. Add some more to the cart and you get a quantity break. But like, for example, I went to a Louis Vuitton store in Scottsdale and I've never purchased any design or anything like that, but I wanted to see what it felt like to purchase some designer clothing. And I bought this Louis Vuitton shirt, black shirt. And if they said, hey, Nick, do you want to add a second one to the cart? It's like, no, because this is more of like a graphic dress type tee, right? It's not really something I want to like have 5 pairs of. I'd rather go buy like other ones on the store. So, again, just really depends on what you're selling. I can see quantity work really well. Now, that's after you click add to cart, that pop-up comes up. And then the next thing you have to look at is your in-cart experience, right? So those things move to your cart. The next thing I like to add is basically like if you spend X amount, you get free shipping. There's a few different apps in Shopify. I'll try to link them below if I get the time, where like if you spend more, you get free shipping. You spend a little bit more, you get another gift. You spend a little bit more, you get another gift. So just different gifts for how much money they spend on the site as well. I've seen those work really well. And you can do like some cool stuff where it's like, hey, give you an example. I just bought a MacBook Pro, one of the new ones. And, I got like the fully maxed out one, and purchasing that fully maxed out one got me like a bunch of these free things, right? I wasn't going to get with like the standard MacBook. So, like that's something right there, just to give you an example. So there's other things that kind of go with that product. And I wouldn't even look at the product, other things that people may use, your customers use, what I would say around, their day to day. That's what I like to look at, right? And what do I mean by that? Like, for example, I'm a guy that likes to go shoot guns, likes to go to the range and stuff. There's various things I might use, like some targets, some safety glasses, some, hearing protection, maybe some ammunition and stuff I can, use on the range, maybe like some backpacks, some, like holsters, some different slings and stuff like that. Like, these are all various things that goes around my range experience. So you got to understand is where's your customer using this product, and what are other things that are completely irrelevant to your product, but within that same experience that people are using it for. That's what I like to look at too as well, for like some of those free gift options right there. Now, after they click add to cart, they may unlock some free gifts or not, whatever. They go to the checkout page. Something I love to add to the checkout page for like a quick upsell is Apple Care. What do I mean by Apple Care? When I bought that MacBook, for example, I had to pay like $300 to get Apple Care for like 3 years. Apple Care is literally a zero cost to Apple, right? Like it's literally me just paying $300 to Apple for Apple to be like, hey, if you have any problems the next 3 years, I'll replace it for you. But if I never have any problems, they make 100% profit on that right there. So you can create that same thing for your store. You can say, hey, you have a 30-day warranty or a 60-day warranty on this product. Whereas, if you add this Apple Care, which is literally just another product you create on your store that's called like your own version of Apple Care, I typically like to make it about 10%, 5 to 10% of whatever the price is of the product, right? And then if you add this, you have 3 years. If anything happens, just email us. And as long as I see that customer emailing us, purchase that thing, because you can see that in the Shopify order history, then what we can do from there is we'll just refund them, or not refund, we'll just send them a whole new product for free, right? So then from there, we're just banking on more people purchase this than people that actually come to our store for like refund and stuff like that, because we have a great product. And then guess what? We bank on all of those experiences right there, people purchasing that right there. So super easy to set up. Again, just add that as an in-cart upsell for like when after people click add to cart and go to like that checkout page. That's where I would add that to there. Now, last thing for post purchase for improving your AOV. So, let's say for example, for me, like I said, that range experience, right? Maybe there's like a few different things I need to go shoot my gun at a particular range, for example. Then like after I click checkout, everything like that, then I have a post-purchase upsell. This post-purchase upsell in my case could be like, hey, pay $50 a month and we send you X amount of ammunition every month and targets, things I already know that people are like using over and over. Then boom, maybe I sell a fitness product, right? And then after people go to the post-purchase upsell, well, guess what happens next? Maybe I give them like training programs and stuff that they can quickly, one click, add to their cart and purchase. Maybe I can literally give them like a 1 hour consulting call and boom, maybe I'm like a clothing brand or a t-shirt brand. And like I add this 1 hour call with like a designer, or not a designer, but like a stylist, for example. And that's just like, hey, $250, 1 hour call with the styler. We'll jump on a Zoom call together and we'll go through your wardrobe and help you pick out different fits specifically to fit your style. And that actually could be a great opportunity to upsell them on other clothing once we get on that call right there. So that's a really good example of like a clothing brand, fashion brand. Maybe you're a gym supplements brand. Maybe you look at like things like different workout routines and stuff you can upsell people on. Maybe other supplements they just simply didn't like purchase, or like other like opportunities and stuff. That's a great example right there. But yeah, and another thing I like to look at for AOV is what problems does my product create for them? So for example, I don't have the problem of needing something to protect my phone from breaking and falling and stuff like that until I purchase a phone. Then after I purchase a phone, I'm like, fuck, now I need to purchase a phone case. Now I need to purchase a screen protector. Now I need to purchase these wireless headphones, right? I don't have that problem until, basically I purchase that phone. Another great example, I was talking to one of my buddies like a year ago, and Jeremy Haynes is Miami mastermind. And, he was doing an offer for home renovations where they would go in, renovate the home and stuff like that. And one of the problems of you purchasing a home renovation is that you kind of have to like leave your house for a period of time right there. So I was like, hey, why don't you get your home renovators to team up with some local hotels to be able to offer hotel stays at a discount? That way they can make some more money on the partnership with the hotel. And it also helps solve more of the problem for the customer, for them to stand out. Yes, the customer has to spend more money, but only brokies look at spending more money as a bad thing. Rich people and people with money, they look at being able to spend more money as a really good thing. They're perfectly okay with spending money. They want to spend money as long as the quality is there. So I think that's also a big thing that kind of comes down to more of a mindset shift, right? Like for me personally, I would always look at whatever I'm selling and I would look at the money in my bank account. But then you realize like, hey, I'm just a brokey. I was the same person. Like I remember when I was selling like products for a couple $1,000s as like a sales rep, and I only had like $200 in my bank account. I'm like, why the fuck would anyone purchase this? This is so expensive. Then I realized I was basing my perception of this product and the cost it is based off my own bank balance. And that wasn't the case for 80 to 90% of the marketplace. So no, get on a little tangent, but yeah, that's just a couple tips right there. I help you guys out with improving your AOV. Hopefully this helps you out. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you want me to run your Facebook ads, click the link below to have Nick Theriot run your Facebook ads. We specialize with scaling brands from 6 figures a month to multiple 7 figures a month. About 4 brands now achieve that, and love to help you become the next one. If you're looking to join a group full of marketers and for me to mentor you and help you with creating better creatives, click the link below for have Nick Theriot mentor you. And then if you want a marketing course that teaches you all the fundamentals that allows us to crush it the way we do today, then click the link below to Nick's Facebook ad course. Thank you all so much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of y'all day. Peace out.